got arrested, we keeping that private. Buy me a Hyatt for Wyatt. I'ma make sure that you go on a diet. Eat from your plate, you can tell that I like it. You thought you was gonna bag my chick. Yeah, right.
What's happening, everyone? I'm your host, SchuZ, Schumaker, and I hope you guys are having a blessed day. Even with everything going on right now, I think this will be a special episode that y'all are gonna love. Now, before I go any further, make sure you hit the red subscribe button below so you guys can stay up to date on all SchuZ episodes, and whatever podcast platform you're currently listening to this on, make sure you give a thumbs up, a like, comment, whatever you can. I definitely appreciate that. Now, why will this episode be so special? Well, you can hear from Wake Forrest commit Quadry Adams. I promise you, you're not going to miss it. It's going to be a special one. There's so much other big time stuff coming in my life and stuff that you're not going to miss by me. There's my IG interviews. Make sure you head over to Instagram and check all those out. I'll be doing them daily. You also check out Big Time, the breakdown, of course, SchuZ views. You're not going to miss any of that. And how do you stay up to date on all that? Well, head over to Instagram and Twitter and follow me at Zach Schumaker. Once again, that's at Zach Schumaker. Also, links provided in the description below. Now, as you guys probably know by now, this episode is brought to you by the Player Circle. Now, the Player Circle is the only social networking app designed specifically for grassroots basketball players and coaches. Post all your career mixtapes, accomplishments, highlights, commitment edits, you name it, so you can get noticed by coaches and scouts all over the world. Head over to the App Store and download it right now. On top of that, make sure to go check out Recruits News on Instagram, Twitter as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all their stuff. They're bringing all the men's, women's basketball in high school. You're not going to miss it. Go check them out right now. And obviously, my shirt, 17-6. Make sure to go check them out right now on Instagram. Between the 17 and 6, you're not going to miss their stuff. But with that being said, let's get into this episode. So, Quadry's interview is up right after this. I'm blessed to welcome on a top 400 player in the class of 2020. One of the stars at Wake Forest next year, a 3-star, a top 60 point guard, and one of the top players in all New Jersey. And of course, Wake Forest commit Quadry Adams. What's happening, bro?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. So yeah.
For sure, and obviously there's a lot of stuff going on right now where it's kind of impacted a lot of the big stuff, especially in playoff New Jersey stuff. But
yes,
top last season, what was it like?
Overall, I couldn't have asked for a better season. Had a great team this year. Had some key guys come in. Obviously, I didn't, have the best postseason that I wanted to, along like the rest of my teammates. But we definitely shocked a lot of people. We definitely made a statement. And they're going to be good for like years to come. And that's all I really wanted to do is just, start something. So yeah, good year overall.
And you, like you just said, you were kind of the leader, the senior star of the team, but there's so much young talent in the team. Talk about some of the guys that's going to step up now and become the face of the team.
Obviously, Jaquan Harris goes without saying, top 100 guards, Seton Hall, Auburn, big schools. Tristan Jeffries as well, he's another 3-star, I believe, in the class of 2021. So, those guys were solid all year. Tristan didn't get to play the entire year, but, the second he got with us, we were rolling. He made a huge impact. So, yeah, absolutely.
And I think, throughout the course of the year for you especially, you got more and more notoriety, you got more and more attention. Talk about what it's like starting to get more and more respect, not just in New Jersey, but across the country.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't really the type of guy at first to, always, look at the media, look at what other guys are doing. And I think that was more or less my problem at first. Like, I was focused on, what everybody else was doing. And, like, why I wasn't getting this, why I wasn't getting that. But, like, why is this guy getting this and that, I proved that I may have been better than that player, and they were still, getting things that I thought that I deserved. So, I just kept my head down. I kept working, I worked my butt off for, like, these past 3 years to, get where I am now. And, like, I went from being, like, a nobody to, like you said, committing to Wake Forest is like a dream of mine. Playing in the ACC is like every basketball player's dream. So, absolutely, yeah. Just working, like grinding, keeping going. So.
And how do you kind of keep your mindset on your goals eventually?
Well, I have like an amazing, support system. My parents, my dad, my mom, my coaches. It's nothing I can't ask for that like I won't get. Like so. Having that and just knowing that those people are behind me, like that takes me longer than like basketball ever could. But yeah, they definitely like they fuel me to be a much better player. I don't want my mom working, in the next 10 years. I want to retire her. I want to retire my dad. I want to put my family in the best position to, just live a good life.
And you were able to reach 1,000 points. You ended with about 1,200. But what was that moment like when you were able to pass that milestone?
I felt like all my hard work was just, coming into play. a lot of people said like when I had transferred from the school I was at my freshman year, I was making a huge mistake. They told me like it wasn't the basketball school that I was going to. I wasn't gonna get the right notoriety. And I mean, I was always a kid that wanted to like blaze his own trail, like, and that was since I was young. So I mean, getting at 1,000 points was kind of just the icing on top of the cake in terms of like a high school career. That's a huge milestone, and I mean, I did it in 3 years, so I kind of credit myself to that as well. So absolutely.
And when you decided to make that transfer, I mean, what went into choosing your school?
Somewhere where, I could play my game, somewhere where I wasn't restricted, somewhere where I could just be Quadry. Like, the place I was at before, I really wasn't comfortable. Like, there were a lot of great guys there, and I didn't fit in. So, like, I needed to go somewhere where, like, I could be, or eventually become, like, the top dog, like, which I did, like, coming into my junior year.
For sure. And another big thing, I mean, you've been racking up awards now the season's done. I mean, you're named Conference Player of the Year. You also made third team All-State in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, what's some of those accolades mean to you?
Like, once again, just, working hard, all my hard work is finally paying off, And like I said, I had a lot of doubters, and I mean, I feel like this is for them as well. Like, men lie, women lie, but I feel like my numbers speak for themselves, so.
And when you talk about New Jersey basketball, I mean, there's so much talent there. I mean, we know a lot of names. I mean, what's it like competing against some of those guys? And what's maybe some of the favorite guys you like competing against?
I feel like Jersey is just like kill or be killed. Like it's no basketball like Jersey basketball. I mean, New York is kind of close, but I mean, other than that, like there's nowhere else like in the world probably like Jersey basketball. I mean, I've had a chance to compete against some of the top guys in the country. Jameer Watkins, Taj Thweet, Lance Ware. Obviously, he just got Player of the Year for Jersey. Cliff. So. I mean, all great guys, like all guys that have the potential, all guys that are just chasing, the same exact dream I'm chasing. So very competitive.
I mean, like you just said, you look at basketball. I mean, I know there's debates everywhere about who is the best state, who's the best area of basketball. So, I mean, what exactly would be your argument? What separates New Jersey from every other state?
I feel like with Jersey, it's just like, I don't know, especially Jersey guards. Like, I can't really speak too much on bigs. I'm not a big, but like Jersey guards, we kind of just like, we play with that like swag, like the chip on our shoulder. Like, I don't know, it's just different out here. Like, I can't really describe it much, but yeah, just know it's different.
And I know one place, obviously, next year you will be going is not New Jersey, but talk about that transition. What's it going to be like getting ready to go on campus?
Well, as of right now, like once the season ended, before this whole like coronavirus thing, I was in the gym every day, just making sure I'm at least somewhat ready for like what I'm about to be up against. Obviously I'm not gonna have all the answers day one. I'm gonna have to adjust. There are gonna be hard times, there are gonna be good times. So I'm just ready for everything. Like I'm ready to get better and live out my ultimate goal, which is obviously the next level after college.
Without a doubt. So how do you approach that next level? Because at Wake Forest, I mean, there's countless players that made the NBA from there, especially guards like most notable, obviously, Chris Paul. But what's your approach to being able to reach the destination point?
I mean, just second I get down there, I just gotta kill. Like, there's no other way to really put it. Like, anytime I've been like, put in a new situation, that's always been like my first instinct, just to kill. Like, I've never cared like who somebody was or like how high they were ranked. I mean, obviously playing in the ACC, I'm be playing with guys that are just as good as me, just as highly ranked as me. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter to me. Like, if you're in front of me, I'm gonna kill you. So.
Absolutely. And coming into obviously the team right now, I mean, there's a few guys leaving, obviously leading scorers leaving, but what's going to be like trying to fill those roles and kind of take over this team?
I mean, that's a big reason as to why, like, I ended up, making the decision to, commit to Wake Forest. Coach Manning basically made it clear that, like, there's a lot of room for somebody to make a big impact, whether it's from a guard standpoint, a big standpoint, we got a lot of guys leaving, especially, at the guard spot. So I'm just ready to come in, make an impact right away, help my guys however I can, whether that's scoring, playing defense, getting assists, anything. Like, whatever they need, I'll do it.
And obviously we know Coach Manning, I mean, it wasn't the best year as a team this year. They finished last in the conference. But for you guys coming in, what's it going to kind of take to start revamping this program and get to where you guys' goals will be?
I mean, all it takes is a few new guys. Like, obviously, we're a very experienced team. There are a lot of guys that are, now juniors and seniors. So, I mean, experience is all it takes. And a lot of these teams in the ACC are usually young. So, hopefully that experience takes us longer than, like, people, might doubt us. So,
Without a doubt, and Coach Manning, I mean, you talked about him. Obviously, the head coach is a huge part, obviously, in why you commit. But
yeah.
there's some uncertainty about not necessarily a job. He said he's going to come back, but for him, just what's your relationship with him?
I mean, I talk to Coach Manning every day just about, like, he's slowly but surely becoming, another father figure to me, It's more than just basketball with him. And, like, that's what he made clear, like, on my visit. Like, once I'm here, I'm a part of a brotherhood. So, I mean, that's a guy I want to go out and, do anything for on that court. And, I mean, that's what I hope to do.
No doubt. And I think another huge thing that a lot of players look at as a great thing is playing for a guy that did eventually what you want to do, and that's playing the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, he's also an iconic college player. We know that as well. But what's it kind of like learning from a guy that's done what you want to do?
I mean, it's always good to, learn from guys who have experience, whether it's overseas, obviously the NBA, like you said, because, that's the ultimate goal. But, I mean, yeah, it's just great to know that, like, he was once in my shoes. He was once a college player, He knows the ups and downs of college basketball. I mean, he knows what the NBA is like. He knows what it takes to get there. So, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better coach.
And what was it like when you first got to meet Coach Manning? I mean, how'd the relationship go? How did you guys first talk? What was the experience like?
I mean, it felt as though, like, I knew him already. I didn't, obviously, when recruitment first started, just text messages, phone calls, obviously, like, when they offered me and stuff, so it was a lot of over the phone. But, I mean, meeting him in person, it was no different. Like, he's a genuine guy, really down to earth, really cares about his players. So, I mean, those are all, good things in my book.
And have you maybe talked with him about maybe what your role will be on the team or where he wants you to be next year?
Definitely. He made it clear to, like, myself and obviously, my other teammate Marcus. He's a guard as well. So, we have 3 guards graduating next year. 3 senior guards graduated this year. I'm sorry. So, I mean, he said, the opportunity is there. You just have to execute, make sure you're making the right plays, making the right decisions, and, like, he's going to give us all that shot. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And talk about the rest of the guys coming in with you, because it's a lot of good players coming in. Obviously, you just mentioned Marcus, but what's your relationship with everyone coming in?
Jai Bailey, he's also from the Raleigh area, North Carolina area. He's tough. I mean, me and him talk, a lot. I mean, I haven't really got to, meet him and Marcus in person, but we got a 7-footer, Jalen. He went on my visit with me. So, I mean, me and him have a really good relationship. So, I'm just ready to, start playing with those guys. I mean, they're all really cool. We come from, similar, like, I guess, support systems in a way. Like, our parents are, all involved. They're there for us. So, I mean, I think we're going to gel really well, like, when we get down there.
And so how does, like, a recruitment process and kind of a team get put together? I mean, did you guys talk, or was it kind of each person on their own? You guys just met because you guys all committed there?
Yeah, basically the other way. Like, we all kind of just met because we committed there. But, I mean, once one found out about the other, I mean, it was like we all just kind of clicked. Like, I found out he was going there, so, I hit him up like, yo, I'm going here too. So, I mean, we all kind of got, like, wind of each other. And, I mean, since then, like, we talk when we can. Like, obviously, the season, we were really busy. So, I mean, everybody was doing their own thing. But, I mean, now we're definitely, going to start getting the team chemistry going again for, like, when we go down there in July.
And what was your visit like? I mean, I know all colleges have different ways, but from the time you got there, what was kind of the experience in the day like?
Well, the second I got down there, like, I felt at home. And, like, I got the question a lot, like, when I committed, like, why didn't you take your other visits? Obviously, I had Georgia the week after that. I was planning on visiting with Maryland, and, like, a bunch of other schools, had called me and reached out about visits. But, I mean, I kind of knew, like, after my visit, that's where I wanted to be. Like, those guys took me in right away. I mean, that weekend just made me feel as though, like, I was a part of a family. And, like, I didn't know if I was going to get that anywhere else. Like, it was a feeling like no other. So, yeah, great visit.
That's awesome. I think whenever you find the place that God has set for you, I mean, that's obviously the path, and you just got to follow it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you talk about that. I mean, you did have a top 4 released. I mean, talk about those schools and why you did originally put them in there.
Well, I mean, a lot of people may not know this, but like I take academics very serious. So I mean, Ivy League was definitely like a big dream of mine. And at first, like it was really like, where I wanted to be until like, I had a few talks with my parents, obviously Coach Childress, Coach Manning. I mean, I used to doubt myself in terms of like my ability, play in the ACC. I thought maybe I was an Ivy League player, a few lower conferences, but I mean, they kept, expressing to me the fact that I belonged. And I mean, with Wake Forest, you get an academic institution that's just as good as any Ivy League in the country. And I mean, you're playing in the best basketball conference in America. So I can't ask for anything better.
That's awesome. I think that's something that's so key because obviously at some point the ball stops bouncing for everyone, and
exactly.
Having the background and having the next path for you is obviously a huge thing as well.
Exactly.
So what do you maybe know what you're going to start studying in college or?
Definitely, I want to do something that involves business and law. But I mean, at Wake Forest, you're allowed to kind of not create your own major, but create your own major. So like business law would be a thing I could do, and I mean, that's an outlet to many things. I could become a sports agent. If basketball doesn't work out, I could become a defense attorney. Like I could do a lot of things with that. So definitely looking forward to getting down there and learning all I can.
That's awesome. And let's go back a little bit. Obviously, back to when you first started getting offers. I mean, what was the experience like when you got your very first offer?
I was actually in the car with my dad, and the coach had called me, and he basically just told me like he was offering me a scholarship. And I mean, I never knew how it worked because it was my first time getting an offer. So I mean, obviously, I kept my cool, when I was talking to him, but second I got off the phone, like I started screaming, I started going crazy. I mean, and it was just a testament to like how hard I was really working. So I mean, that's an amazing feeling. Yeah. Knowing that you're wanted by like schools, knowing that, they're willing to give you X amount of money, go to their school, get a good education. It's like, it's crazy.
No doubt. That's obviously huge because, I mean, when you first get that offer, man, you're going to be able to have your education paid for. It's just a dream from every person.
Exactly.
And then when coaches first started coming and watch your games and see you play, I mean, what was it like when you got to see a coach in the stands watching you?
Well, my dad, he made it really easy for me in terms of like playing in front of coaches. I mean, he just no pressure. Like you're playing as if they weren't here. Just don't even pay attention to them. Just do what you were gonna do if they weren't gonna come here. So that's really what anything I do. I really try to like block out everything that goes on around me, and I just focus on like the task at hand. So.
No doubt. There's going to be a lot of, obviously, pressure. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming in when you play in the ACC. As you said, I mean, you're going up against the best of the best. And what are some of the games and teams maybe that you were kind of expected and really excited to go match up against?
I mean, obviously, the big dogs, Duke, obviously, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. I mean, there's no like shabby team in the ACC. So I mean, everybody's good. So I'm looking forward to just about every game, especially like coming in as a freshman. Like this is going to be a new experience. Like I've never experienced something like this before. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. I mean, I can imagine. I mean, to be able to, I mean, it's going to be a new experience, obviously, playing and stepping foot on a college court and obviously being able to meet and see all these coaches that we got to probably grow up watching on TV. It's an iconic and awesome thing for you, I can imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
And then another big person that's had an impact on you, I believe, Steph Curry. I mean, you first been able to attend his camp. I mean, what was that camping experience like?
I mean, it was something like I really can't even put into words. Like, me and Steph now, like we have a great relationship. That's like my big brother now. Like I tell people that all the time. So, I've just constantly, took what he said and I mean, just locked it in. Like whatever he's taught me, whether it was, basketball related, non-basketball related, like I took it and I used it and like I've seen an improvement. So like I can't really thank him enough, the impact he's had on me like past few months in my life. So
I mean, I think anytime you can have a person that kind of wants to be a role model and impact your life is a huge thing, and especially a guy that we all know as a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever play the game, is got to be definitely a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And so how did that relationship kind of start? I mean, when was the first time you got in contact with Steph?
It was after His this is his second year doing it. Are you aware of the Underrated tour? The camp he's been putting out. So I went to it the first year, and like that's basically how my recruitment just blew up. And since then, I mean, he started keeping in touch with me, you know, small things. And I mean, I started killing at AAU. You know, I was getting the offers, I was getting all the notoriety, I was getting all the looks, and I mean, it really just was up from there. And I mean, I got the invite to the camp, and I mean, that's when we really started, you know, creating, you know, a great relationship. And I mean, like I said, he's like a big brother to me. So shout out to Steph.
That's awesome. And I mean, there was also a big article written about you. I mean, being able to be a part of that, he helped kind of publish it. I mean, what's kind of like, once again, just having a guy that is able to kind of help blow up your recruitment and help kind of get you to the next level?
I mean, it definitely helped. Like, it helped me in, you know, tremendous ways. You know, Steph is a really, you know, down-to-earth guy. You know, a lot of people may not think that because of who he is, but I mean, he's just like everybody else. Like, he has a family, you know, he worships God. I mean, he's like a great person. Like, I can't really get into it much more than that, but he's just a great guy.
No doubt. For those that obviously don't know, I mean, Steph went to Davidson. He wasn't a highly recruited player either. Part of the reason why he helped put it together. And, I mean, it's just a blessing seeing how many people he's able to impact with that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, now talk about other guys. I mean, we see so many NBA players give back, have their own club teams, have stuff like that. I mean, what's it like seeing so many NBA stars come back and kind of help the guys get ready to the next level?
I mean, I feel like that's what it's all about at the end of the day, you know. You getting yourself to, you know, the platform where you can help other kids. Like, I mean, even now, like, I don't have, you know, the resources yet, but I feel like, you know, God willing, I make it to the next level after college. You know, I'm going to do the same exact things. I'm going to help other kids who are just like me, you know, get to the next level. I mean, that's what it's all about. Like,
that's awesome. And you hear so many people talk about that about you. I mean, we know on the court you're a dog. You like to go play defense, but off the court, I mean, you're a humble, down-to-earth guy. And just talk about who kind of instilled that inside of you.
I mean, my parents, you know, I have amazing parents, you know. And like I said earlier, your support system is, you know, what drives you. I mean, it's what keeps you going. So, you know, my parents definitely, you know, instilled a lot of great things in me at a young age. And, I mean, I've just carried them with me for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. And this past summer, you also played for AAU with, obviously, New Jersey Panthers. What was that experience like?
Well, I feel like the Panthers was yet another organization that just helped my recruitment tremendously. Like, I can't even begin to explain, like, how much exposure they gave me, you know. They didn't keep me on a leash. They let me play my game. They let me be Quadry, and that really just helped, like, throughout all live period, all AAU. So, I mean, my confidence was through the roof, like, towards the end of my recruitment. I felt as though, like, I was the best player in the country. Like, so, absolutely. I can't thank them enough.
That's awesome. And before I let you go, I'd like wrapping up a couple different questions. The first one being, who in your life would you say has been your biggest role model?
I mean, in terms of family, definitely my parents, once again. I mean, they just worked so hard for me. And, like, it'd be a shame if I didn't, you know, repay them at the end of the day for, like, all the hard work. I mean, my parents worked countless hours to make sure, like, I have everything I need. So definitely from a life standpoint, my parents. From a basketball standpoint, I definitely, you know, look up to Ja Morant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, those are two guys, you know, I try to model my game around. You know, obviously Ja, you know, underrated as well. You know, coming into college, nobody knew who he was. I think his freshman year he averaged like 11 points, and I mean his sophomore year he just blew up, and I mean now he's like, it goes without saying what he's doing in the NBA. So just seeing that and like seeing that he's kind of like me and like what he's doing in the NBA now just gives me hope. Like I could be in that position as well.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, God definitely puts different people, rather it be parents in your life to help guide your path, in that way, or have employees you can look up to. It's a special thing.
Yeah.
For sure. And my last question I was like wrapping up with is me being a man of God. I like talking about faith. So how would you say that God's helped get you to the point you're at today?
Well, I feel like with everybody, like without God, like none of us would be here. I mean, he's all powerful, all controlling, you know, and he works in very mysterious ways. You know, there are times where you may think, okay, I'm not good enough. oh, wow, why am I not receiving the blessings that this person is receiving? Why am I not receiving the blessings that this person is receiving? But I mean, it's not your time yet. And like God makes that clear, you know. He's going to bless you when the time is right. And I mean, people just have to trust him, trust in his faith, trust in like his work, trust in what he's doing. And I mean, that's all you need to do, honestly.
Exactly, man. I think, as you just said perfectly, I mean, it's all in God's timing, and some get it early, some might take longer, but when it happens, it's going to be perfect, and it's on his timing.
Exactly.
No doubt. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on, my guy. Keep doing your thing. I can't wait to see you at Wake Forest next year.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Thank you for having me.
No problem, bro. God bless.
All right, you too.